Here we are, part 4, the final piece of Thea Lissi's incredible journey. If you've missed it, you have to go back and watch, but it's a final part. It'll make more sense. Anyway, this is where everything we've talked about comes together. We're diving into a transformative, I always struggle with that word, transformative retreat experience, the challenges of staying authentic in the music industry, and how she's turned her pain into purpose that inspires others. Thea talks about the power of vulnerability, the importance of truth in personal growth, and why authenticity isn't just a buzzword, it's a way of life. This final part is going to leave you thinking long after it's over. So let's finish this journey together. Anyway, here's Thea and myself for part 4. Enjoy and please subscribe to the channel. I was going to ask, do you think your daughter saved you?
Oh, yes, definitely. She still does.
Oh, beautiful. And I guess you guys have a really close relationship, not
Yeah.
because of what you've been through, because I think you probably still have a good relationship regardless,
Yeah.
but I think it definitely puts things in perspective of how you conduct yourself as a parent, right?
Oh, yeah. I think like it's made me a better parent because I didn't have like a good example per se, but
Mm,
it's taught me like I know that my parents never talked about things with us or like, it was just like you're not allowed to do this and there was no explanation for why. There was no like um grace if you did anything. If I would talk too much, it's like, oh, you're getting beat when you get home or whatever it is. It was just like outrageous consequences for compared to the actions and things like that. So it's also taught me to communicate with her to make her understand
mm,
why. Like why you shouldn't do this. This is the consequence. This is why I don't want you to do that. And then give her free will too, to where she knows, okay, like, well, if you do this, this is going to be the consequence. And this is why I don't want you to do this. And now I feel like she's really such a good kid. And I feel so blessed because it's like, it could be a lot worse, and I don't know what I would do if she was um not a good kid,
no,
but I think
yeah.
having those honest conversations with her, it's really, I think, helped our relationship and made us closer, but has also helped her to learn to make wise decisions and to think for herself and to learn that she has her own boundaries and she can say yes, she can say no. She has free will. And
Mm,
so hopefully she'll end up being a better human because of it.
yeah. Absolutely, and she definitely will, and she's got you there for that perspective. And even though she'll never probably feel what you feel, you've prevented her going through anything like that because
Yeah.
you have that knowledge and that wisdom. And does she? How does she feel about now? She's a bit older. How does she feel about your journey?
It's like I slowly have told her like some things, and it's hard to know when the right moment is or like how to bring it up. And I think it wasn't until like she's 13 now, so
Yeah.
it wasn't until recently that I even like fully kind of told her some of the things that I had gone through as a kid. Um, because I think like at one point I had felt like I had made her life too easy, where it was
Mm,
like, she was going through this phase that they all do, as a teenager, where it's just like they want what they want and they just can, fight you for every little thing. And so I think now that she understands, she um she has a little more grace even in her responses of like, understanding that how hard I've had to work to even provide this life for her, and so I think but she just has a good heart in general, so I think it makes her sad that I've been through that, but she's also like, grateful. She has gratitude
sure.
for what she
Yeah.
has now as a result. So
Beautiful. So we going just with your 21. Did was your husband? I know you divorced. Was your husband the father of your child?
no,
That
no,
was the.
yes. Yeah.
So just sorry, quickly then with your daughter. How are you guys supporting yourself? You're a single parent. You've got a baby girl. How were you supporting yourself from 21 onwards until the dancing and the
Yeah.
singing took
Yeah.
over?
So whenever she was first born, I still had 4 jobs and I was a full-time student. And so I was like, I worked at this gym here, a
Hmm.
restaurant, I taught dance on the side, and then I like did like tutoring. I would tutor biology and chemistry and math to like people in college And so
Oh wow,
and so I did all basically anything if people would let me work, I would do it. And,
that's
but then
cool.
it became too much where it's like I realized that something had to give. It's like I could never see her or, like and be a student and work all the time. And so then I dropped out of school. Like I think I was about 2 semesters from graduating and started working like just full time at this boutique in Lafayette. And then I was teaching on the side. And then I slowly started, making more with teaching and realizing that I really liked to teach and that I was good at it. Dance, that is. And so then I opened my own studio and so I met my ex-husband, her stepdad at the time, when she was about 3. And so we had just started dating at this point. And so, and then I opened a studio and started doing that, but I was still like working 1 to 2 other jobs on the side for the first like few years. Because even once him and I were living together and then married, he like would argue with me to even pay half of the bills. So it was like I was still having to work a lot until, I would say maybe year 3 or 4 into my business, it finally started doing well enough to where I could quit all the other jobs and just do dance. And yeah, so and
That's good.
just work a lot, a lot.
Yeah, and it paid off.
Yeah, yeah,
But it brought to where you are today. So
yeah,
your relationship then, because I know that was a difficult time as well. Obviously, we won't defame him because there's two
yeah,
sides to a story. But what did you go through the next stage of your life before reaching that pivotal point of change and going on the
yeah,
a different trajectory of your life?
yeah. So I think it was like I really loved him. He was like the first guy that, I had never been in long relationships because I would figure out like if I didn't think I was going to marry them, then I wouldn't waste my time dating. So I'd never been in a relationship for more than even a year, but like been even that year-long relationship that I once had, it was like I had broken up with him at 6 months, so I'd never been with someone longer than 6 months without breaking up with them, and
Yeah.
until this guy that I married. And so I really wanted it to work and he wasn't horrible. I think he's, a great guy deep down. He just he loved himself a lot, I think, and was um I think he just didn't know how to be real and go beyond the surface. And so it was like the things just they weren't super bad at
Mm.
first, and it's I heard a saying recently that resonated with me and may with you too, but like that this relationship was this, it was saying the best way, like if you want to boil a frog, if you put it in boiling water, it's going to jump out immediately. But if you put a frog in lukewarm water and then slowly raise the temperature, it will eventually die and be because it'll be boiled alive because it just slowly gets worse and worse until before like it's too late. And that's
Yeah.
what the best way to explain this relationship was that like it, I kept arguing with him about things and like wanting him to be home instead of at the gym 6 hours a day or wanting him to help pay like half of the bills or wanting to talk about things and actually have a relationship or help with Surrey, you know, anything. And then you just eventually get tired of arguing and them saying, okay, I'm going to make a change, and then the change not happening. So then you just stop bringing it up, and then it just keeps getting worse. And then the root cause is still there. So it's like, I'm not going to argue with you about this one issue anymore, but then the root issue of this is causing other issues. And so it just keeps coming up. And so it was like, it was, I guess 4 years in that my assistant was like, Thea, this is not good. Like, you deserve so much better. And she was in the day in and day out. And so she was the only person who saw everything that was going on and how much it affected me. Um, and
That
he was
was your
very
assistant,
critical of
did you
me.
say?
Yeah, my assistant, yeah. So she was
Wow,
like
good on
working
her.
for me. Yeah. And because I had like shortness of breath, like since the day that I married him. And I thought it was because of like running a business and whatever. Like I just couldn't breathe. So I'd be like pushing into the thing, like trying to breathe, and he would just be like, I mean, just chill. Like, why can't like just stop stressing or stop whatever? And I'm like, well, obviously, I'm not trying to be stressed, and I never realized that it was because of this relationship until I finally left. And I ended up just writing him a letter because every time I wanted to go to therapy, I wanted to read a book. like the power of praying marriage and five love languages. He wouldn't do any of the things. And so after like years of trying to, fix things and get help and work and him refusing, I finally just wrote him a letter of all the things
Get it out.
and I left. And I was like, I'm just going for a few days. And at this point I thought I was gonna come back and hopefully like make it work. And of course, he like within that first week just like read all the books, had scheduled therapy, he was wanting to do all the things that I'd been begging him to do for years, and he never would. But at this point, I think it was just like it had taken me so long to build up this wall that it was like once it was up, I couldn't get it back down. And so then I had to move out, and we were getting a divorce, and then I had met someone else, which was someone that I had known for a long time, but I just never saw him like romantically. But I
Yeah.
honestly think that it was like because he was so critical of me. Like if I would gain a little bit of weight, he'd be like, "Oh, what's that?" And then if I lost weight, he'd be like, "Where'd your butt go?" And which is just always like
Oh.
nothing was
That
ever
was the new
enough.
guy.
No, that was my ex.
Oh.
Sorry, it's like I'm not saying his name as if no one
No, no,
knows
no, hey,
him,
no,
but
no,
that
don't
that
say his name.
doesn't,
No, no.
yeah, that doesn't help the
Yeah.
story probably because
No, it doesn't. I won't do that anyway.
okay,
I'd have
okay,
to edit that out.
yeah, okay, good. Yeah, so it was like, my ex being very critical of me, I think is part of why, like, once I did finally leave, I immediately fell for the first guy who like showed me attention and was like complimenting me and whatever. And so, and at first it was just going to be like a way to move on and to like, just nothing
Mm,
serious kind of thing. And then we both ended up like developing actual feelings. And then Brent, my ex was like kept trying to, like convince me to go back and to give it another shot. And then my whole family had found out at this point, and they're all like, he loves you, he wants to make it work. And, no one in our family gets a divorce. So it was just like, you can't do that. So then I went back, I left this other guy and went back to him and I told him everything. I told him that I had moved on, started seeing someone else, even though my therapist, like our Christian therapist at the time, told me not to. But I was like, I have to be honest, like I think he deserves to know. And then if he still wants to make it work, then great. Um, and so then he made everyone in the town believe that like we were getting a divorce because I cheated on him and all this stuff, and
oh,
which couldn't have been farthest from the truth. And um, so it was just a whole thing. So it was like back and forth for like 2 years of that, of me like trying to make it work. But then it's like my loyalty was now with this person that I had developed feelings for. So then it's like I felt like I was cheating on him by trying to
yeah,
make it work with him. And,
yeah,
and so, and I was always honest, which was kind of a bad thing because I would tell him I still love this person and then leave him. And, and then it's like he still wanted to make it work. And so then I would try to do the right thing and would go back.
yeah.
And so, yeah, after I went on that healing retreat and all of that, I think being away from it all and just like separating myself, I finally realized that I wanted neither. And then I just needed to be
Oh,
alone and I wanted to
yeah.
find healing and just like, neither of them were good for me. And
I was going to ask,
so
because you said you still love that other person. Was there never going to be a chance for you to?
no, he was a liar in a lot of ways and very
Oh,
similar
okay.
to my dad, which is probably why I fell for it. They even had the same
Yeah.
birthday. So at
Oh God.
first, which is like
Get away.
ironic because that's Valentine's Day. So it's a weird day in general. And then my sister is also born on Valentine's Day. So it's like,
Oh my Lord.
yeah, it's
Valentine's
so
Day
at
is a
first I was
day
just
to
like, oh,
go
it's
away to
meant to
retreat.
be. Right? Yeah.
Just go to retreat every
Yeah.
Valentine's Day,
Yeah.
please. Just avoid the world. No phones,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
nothing. 2 nights away, the whole
I'm
day
just
away.
gonna,
Just
yeah,
do that.
pretend that day doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it
Oh
was
my
it was
Lord.
kind of wild, but he was going through a similar situation, or at least he told me he was, um, to me, and then yeah, that's a whole nother story. But like
Mm,
it will never work. It never. Now I'm well over that, but yeah, it messed me up for a long, long time. It was mind games. We'll just call it. I don't want to say the
yeah.
word I want to say, but it was mind games.
So what was the you've done the retreat. To me you found a new direction from that moment. But was that your pivotal moment? Or was there another pivotal moment where you gone, fuck this, this is done, I'm over it, I'm going in this direction? Was it the retreat, or was it another point in your life?
No, I feel like the retreat was really a huge part of it. It was like it was being away from society because I stayed there for a month, and so it was like no work,
Oh,
no cell phones. Like they would let us call like my daughter like once a week and or maybe twice. But like other than that, I had to disconnect from the studio, from everything. And I think like I'm a workaholic by nature, and so it's so easy for me to just be wrapped in that. And I think there's something about just getting out of your routine, disconnecting from reality, from what people think, because I had such bad social anxiety at this point, because everybody in my town was talking about me. I would go to restaurants and people that I didn't even know were like, "Oh, I heard she cheated," and blah, and I would find this out later, and I'm just like, wow. And little do they like they know nothing about my situation. And just like you don't realize how many people are just waiting for your downfall until
yeah,
it happens, and then they're just all jumping on it.
yeah,
um, and so it was like I think I needed that. I needed to get away from it to like remember who I was. I forgot like my humor and my personality and just like that I could even laugh and like have fun. Like I just literally forgot who I was until I went on this retreat and I was like separated from him, from the world, from life, and then really started digging deep and some of the therapies I was like, oh, I don't know about this. Like, is this in alignment with my beliefs and whatever? But like, it was it pushed me out of my box and it made me get in touch with like myself on a deeper level, and I really am truly grateful for it. It changed my life in a lot of ways, and I don't think I would have
yeah.
ever started this like healing journey. And I started writing a book, which maybe one day I'll put it out, but
Do
because of
it.
that retreat, yeah, and it's called Feel, Heal, Thrive, but it's just about how you have to feel to heal to thrive, so yeah.
I'll put it on the shelf once it's out.
Yeah.
Get it sent over
Yeah.
here. We'll put it
Yeah.
on the shelf for sure. That'd be
Maybe I'll
amazing.
send
Yeah,
you the manuscript or something.
yeah. I want the printed covers as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, but I mean like before it's even out, maybe I'll
Oh
let you
yeah,
proof it.
I'll proof it for sure. Yeah, I'm actually helping
Yeah.
somebody else proof their books
Yeah.
because I went through the process with mine.
Yeah.
So I think you should do. And people used to say to me, "Oh, write it down." And going through that moment, I was like, I don't mean to be mean or sexist here, but I was like, no, that's a bit girly. I'm not doing that. That whole
Yeah.
macho thing
Yeah.
came out. I'm not doing that. But honestly, it was one of the most powerful things. And I do believe right in my journey, in my chapter one, was changing, life changing. It was therapeutic for me. And then knowing it would be therapeutic for somebody else made it even more therapeutic for me.
Yeah.
So I think that would be the same journey for you. But you already know that because of your songs.
Yeah, yeah. And honestly, it's like I think just allowing yourself to feel, even as a man, it's just so important because like even my ex-husband, I still have love for him. I know he hates my guts, but like I think deep down he's a great person, and that's why I married him because I saw that
For
in
sure.
him, and I think if people like him would allow themselves to like feel and be honest with their own struggles, like his life wasn't near like traumatic like mine, but I'm sure he had like his own things that he struggled with that maybe if he could have come to terms with and been honest with himself, then our relationship could have worked and we could have, you know,
Yeah.
been healthy. And I think that's so true for so many people in their lives that they don't allow themselves to be honest with what they're going through, what they're feeling. And so that blocks you in
Yeah.
so many different ways. And it just like hinders you fully like thriving in this world and being happy or finding happiness, because at the end of the day, the only thing that sets you free is truth. So
You'll be surprised. Like he probably has been through something, but never even he might not even be consciously aware of it.
yeah,
But until he sits down and talks about it, and all these things will just start to come out of his brain. These
yeah,
neural pathways will start to open up and go,
yeah,
so, "Holy shit!"
yeah,
Actually, and that's probably why I believe he probably had deficiency in his mind and his body for
yeah,
why he acted
yeah,
the way he did in his marriage with you. He
yeah,
presents himself one way, and then when
yeah,
people get comfortable,
yeah,
the truth starts to come
yeah.
out, right?
And I
And
think
that
he
will
really
be,
tried, like I will
yeah,
say that, I have to give him credit for that. Like those years after, he really did try, but I think because I had so much that like I needed to heal from, and pain that and all the stuff with my dad, that it was literally impossible for me to trust him again and to
Mm,
like believe that that change was genuine. And so it's like I just couldn't, it took me so long to build those walls up that like once they were up, I couldn't put them back down, you know. But he
yeah.
did try, and I think, you know, he's remarried and has a kid now, and hopefully he's done the work and their relationship is healthy. Yeah, you know, I pray that it is at least. So,
Yeah,
you know,
that's a good mentality for you to have as well, isn't it? Otherwise, you'd still be sitting where you were.
yeah.
You
No,
know,
exactly. And it's like I don't wish any ill on, you know, anyone who's caused me pain. Really, I just don't
of course,
want to continue to be in pain. And
in
so it's like
in
I
pain.
have
Yeah,
to remove myself sometimes, you know. So, yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I feel like we've done the full loop back to your retreat where your singing began.
Yeah.
Um, let's touch on your singing very quickly before
Yeah.
we not quickly. I know
But
we've
yeah,
touched on it
yeah.
at the beginning,
Yeah.
but you know, something bringing this back to the beautiful part of your life of where you are now. You're doing wonderful things. I really want people to go and check your albums out. I've got
Yeah.
all these photos. I got so stuck into your journey, I've not shown anything. So
Yeah.
let's let's end it with this big beautiful picture of
Yeah.
you. Before I get into my final questions, um, you look like the part. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where, I love this picture. That's why I put that as the big
Yeah.
one.
Oh,
Um,
thanks.
and talk to us a little bit. Oh, I'm not on the mic. Hold on, I need to turn my head for the listeners. Talk to us a little bit about because there's a series of these pictures, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah. So that first one was from whenever I had my EP like show in Nashville for when I first like changed into country. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
And so I did like a little EP release, you know, where I played all the songs that were going to be on that EP. And then the one above it was from one of my recent singles, Bad Guy,
Okay. Yeah.
which I love. And that one is kind of relative to all of my exes. No, I'm kidding, but mainly the most recent one, where
Damn.
it's like they, well, and it's not what you think, you know, it's like they make me out to be the bad guy because, you know, you
Yeah.
give them so many chances, and then once you finally leave, yeah, that one's for my bad guy too.
Another
Um,
picture of the.
yeah. Yeah, so it's like, you know, it's easy to paint you as the villain whenever like you won't give them a chance again. And so that's what that song was about. And it's one of my favorite. I feel like it's such a good song. So
It is a
I
good
love it.
song.
Yeah.
I have been listening to it, but I must admit I do like You and I.
Yeah.
Can I show a picture of you and your daughter?
Oh yes, absolutely. Yes. That was for Easter, I think last year, year before last. Yeah.
Beautiful. I will put some of these at the beginning of the episode as well, so because
Yeah.
they're going to pop up on the
Yeah.
screen for anyone who is
Yeah.
watching and not listening on Apple.
Yeah.
I will put some, even if we've not mentioned it, I will upload them and let them just
Yeah.
appear so people can see. But let me look through and a few more because I've got so many here. This is you on. Oh, there's another one after this, but this is you on stage
Oh
playing the
yeah.
guitar.
And yes. That one, that
Cool.
was the night in Nashville, played like a little round there. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And this one here, I actually think this is fantastic. The prep that must have gone into this shoot.
Oh yeah, that was one of my favorite. That one is "Pass Me the Lighter," which is a song I wrote about my divorce actually, because it was just
Ah,
like, you know, like when almost that feeling of having to be the bad guy, like you have to be the one to blow it up because like
yes.
they, you know, it's just gonna continue on a big cycle. So it's like, you know what, pass me the lighter.
Love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. And we didn't do the whole song thing through the episode either. We
Yeah.
totally
But it's
went off
okay.
and
We're
did
doing it
connect.
right now. It's good.
We're doing it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm guessing this is you as
Yeah.
a little one, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Doing your
Always
thing,
dancing.
dancing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was
I think
always
it's
like, watch me do a trick.
love it. Another little model shot there for.
Oh
I'm guessing
yeah.
this is for all your social media as well. Is this part of
Yeah.
an album or?
Yeah, that was Hendrix over me. So I wrote this song about like Hendrix, which is gin, which is my favorite drink. It's gin and tonic with Hendrix,
Gin and
but
tonic.
it's about like someone who, you know, if some people when they drink clear or dark, you know, they drink one or the other, it makes them act the fool. But if they would just
Yeah.
stick with this, they'd be fine.
Yeah.
So
I
that one
like
is,
that.
yeah, lyrically wise, that's one of my best songs, I think.
Yeah,
It's
cool.
got great lyrics. Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
a nice photo.
yeah, that one was for I Don't. That's in my kitchen actually.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's right there.
What does that song represent then?
That one I wrote about the guy that I dated after my divorce, my ex-husband. Um, the on and off, the one that
Oh yeah,
traumatized me. But
yeah.
so, and I remember I was driving down the road one day and I had realized I was like, man, I haven't thought about him in a while. Like I had saw a truck that looked like his, and it reminded me of him. And I realized I've come a far way. Like I'm good and I haven't thought about him in a while. And now I'm thinking about him and it's like, don't want to bawl my eyes out. This is good.
Yeah.
Um, and so then I started writing that song because it's like, I do, I don't think about you, but like I do, but I don't kind of thing. And
We all been
so
there.
yeah, and
We all
where you're
been there.
like, but I don't want you to know that I think of it. Like even if I do think about you, I don't want you to know, kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, he
Yeah,
knows now
yeah, oh yeah, he
because of the
he
song.
does. I'm sure he loves that he has so many songs about him, but um, that one is actually it really is an underrated song. I think it's one of my best, and it's I I feel like if I had the right marketing and whatever, it probably would have done a lot better because it really is a great song. But
What is then the most popular song of all time in out of your all of you singing?
it's the one that just came out 2 months ago, Sweeter. That one has the most streams out of all my songs
And that's
ever.
the one that's the most recent. Well, one of the most
Yeah,
recent.
one yeah, the second to last, like yeah,
Yeah.
the one right before Permanent Ink. And it has like over 500,000 streams on just Spotify, which is like a lot for me, especially just in a few months. It's done
Wow.
even better than Bad Guy, which I feel like personally I like Bad Guy more, and I feel like that one I think is stronger personally, but and
Well,
that
it just
one's done
shows you
really
though.
well too. But
It shows you though, doesn't it? You obviously have an emotional attachment to these,
yeah,
and sometimes I've learned even just through this what people navigate to looking at my standard. And I'm not anywhere near 500,000, by
yeah,
the way, so I don't know what I could really bring to you here when you're getting 500,000 streams. But you, sometimes the words and the not it's not I have no popularity in terms of guest. I think everyone's got a unique story, but you're obviously writing these songs yourself,
yeah,
whereas you're writing this episode for me. I'm not doing
yeah,
anything, I'm just navigating it.
yeah,
But you when you have these emotional attachments to the words that you're singing, sometimes I guess one will so really surprise you, and that will be like, oh
yeah,
shit, I didn't realize that was going to do so well. I'm
yeah.
guessing that's that moment for you,
Oh
right?
yeah. Yeah, and and I think Sweeter, it really is it's a good song too. It's just like yeah, like you said, you never know. And that one's
Mm.
about like yeah, baby, revenge is sweet, but forgetting you is sweeter is like the hook.
Yeah.
And so it's like about my most recent ex and whenever like, just all the crazy things he did that I was just like, you know what, I could get revenge or I could just forget you. So
Forget you's more powerful. Yeah.
yeah, because I
You're
wouldn't
gonna
sleep
write
at
us. You'll
night
have,
if I got revenge. Yeah.
don't do it. Don't
And
do
I
it.
already don't sleep well. So
Well, we'll work on that.
yeah.
I'll give you some tips on the sleep thing. I talk
Yeah.
about sleep quite a lot. That's good.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
go there. Um, you have to write a song about coming on leading our own way.
Yeah. Mhm.
See,
Next
there's
one.
your
Yeah.
song title. I'll let
Yeah.
you have it. Leading our own way.
Yeah. Perfect.
Future plans then for you.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
where does the future lie for you? Because you look
You know,
positive, you look happy, but it obviously looks always don't always seem. I know you're human. You will dip in. You have mentioned, you
yeah.
know, you sometimes you think things and you get a bit down. But what are your future plans?
I think, well, there's been some things that have happened recently, like in terms of partnerships in music, I'll say, where things weren't aligning direction wise with the past team. So, like, I've recently taken a split with that, and but that means that now I get to keep putting out music that I believe in and
Hmm.
that is real and authentic because I've been not allowed to, I guess you could say, like because of, you have to wait for permission when you're working with labels and things like that. So now I no
Permission
longer
in
have
what
to wait
sense?
for
Sorry.
permission. Like they have to approve it if they're going to fund it. So it's like if it was too deep or it wasn't palatable enough or like whatever, it's like there's a lot of music that I've wanted to put out that's like real and about my story that I haven't gotten to put out because not everybody agreed on it on the team. And so now it's I no longer have to wait on permission, I guess, but it also means that I'm back to funding it myself. So this expensive hobby is going to be,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Wow.
but I'm hoping that, like I'll find the right people and producers that, believe in me and my music enough to partner with me and continue to put out songs and
Yeah.
releases and all of that. And so that's my plan because I've got a lot of
Yeah.
songs that I believe in, that I love, and I think people will find a lot of healing from. That the only reason I haven't put them out was just because I needed the label to be, in a agreement with me releasing it,
Yeah.
basically. So
Yeah. That
yeah,
from my point, we don't know how the artist things work very often, so that's
yeah,
interesting to learn about that. So thanks for sharing that. And I hope the
yeah.
right people come, and I hope your expensive hobby doesn't stay expensive for too long.
Yeah, no, me too. And I think there's so many artists out there, honestly, that some of the best songs have yet to be released because of
Of that.
gatekeepers, we'll call it. And
Yeah.
so who knows? Maybe I'll be a part of starting that wave of some kind of new way of doing things where creatives are able to be creative and not be restricted
Yeah.
and can release the music that they truly believe in. So
A lot are doing that though, aren't they?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard to do, but it's it's possible. So
Yeah, for sure. So with the things you've been through in the journey and that you've mentioned today, that the people, because there'll be other people that are going through things in their life, whether it's separation, whether it's through toxic relationships, whether it's through abuse in the home, it exists and it still happens a lot today. The more we open up, the more we learn that it is more common than we think.
yeah,
I found that out in my own journey. The more I opened up, the more I found that it was actually more common. But when I was going
yeah,
through it, I felt so alone, so
yeah,
isolated, and I lost everything about myself,
yeah,
my identity, my belonging, and so on. Especially when after I'd already moved to the side of the world as well. I struggled
yeah,
with that because you're looking for a deeper identity,
yeah.
trying to fit in as well. With somebody that will be able listening to this today, then I mean, we could be here for hours giving advice, but what general piece of advice could you give to those who just need that little bit of inspiration?
I would say just to like question everything that you do. Like, is this aligned with the truth? Like, is this me being honest with myself, with
Mm,
others, with like, is this truly how I feel? Or am I like trying to protect an image? Or am I, like if everything is aligned with honesty and truth, I feel like the end result will ultimately lead to where it needs to be. Because if it's not, it truth always comes out eventually. You know that saying, and it is true. And I think there's so much freedom in just like being honest and being vulnerable. And then it allows other people to be honest and vulnerable too, So
hence the podcast, why it
yeah,
exists.
yeah.
Yeah, right down the middle. Yeah, perfect. Love it. All right. Well, I always ask the guest, I think it's pretty clear, but I always ask the guest what their purpose is. And I really want that. Just a nice way to finish with a nice, powerful way of saying, what do you think your purpose is now then, Thea?
I think my purpose is to, turn pain into a purpose, like I said earlier, or like,
Yeah.
um to shed light on the things that were previously in the darkness so that there can be change and healing, So
Yeah.
I feel like that's the best way to sum up my purpose, maybe.
Beautiful. No, it's a powerful way to end. I love it. Thank you for sharing your journey, Thea. Thanks for
Thank
being
you.
vulnerable. I know it's been hard, and I know, those emotions that came out earlier are real. They had to come out, and I hope they still keep coming out in a healthy way to help you keep moving forward.
Yes.
So, thank you so much for joining on my journey.
Yes, and thank you for having me. I truly appreciate it and giving me the, opportunity to speak. So,
Absolutely. Anytime. You're welcome back anytime if you ever want to have another chat. Sometimes some of my guests want to come back. I've not had a part two yet with any of my guests, but I think one day that will happen. So
yeah.
thank you for joining me. It's been a pleasure. And thanks for the team who contacted me to get you on as well, because your
Yes.
team actually you're my third guest from your team out in
Oh,
Canada.
yes. Yeah. Kick
So
up your
big
heels, girls. I
kick
love
up your,
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Kat.
Yeah.
We haven't physically met, but I love the team out there with Kick Up
Yes.
Your Heels. So
Yes.
keep bringing me amazing journeys. So I love it. Thank you very much. Yeah, to everybody else from Thea and myself, have a great weekend. Keep leading your own way, and we'll get you next week with another amazing, inspiring journey. Take care and bye for now. And there you have it. Thea's listener, Thea Lissi. Remarkable, remarkable journey from pain to purpose, trauma to transformation. We could think of loads of sayings like that, couldn't we? We really could. What gets me, though, about Thea's story is her absolute commitment to authenticity, to truth, and to turning her experiences into something that can genuinely help others heal. That's what the whole platform is about, right? Sharing those real, raw stories that remind us we're not alone in our struggles. If Thea's journey, though, has touched you in any way, I'd love to hear about it. In the comments below, share your thoughts, your own experiences, or just let us know how this conversation has impacted you. And if you know someone who needs to hear Thea's story, please share it with them. Don't forget to subscribe if you already haven't. Please hit that notification bell and reminder. We're all just here figuring it out as we go along. But we don't have to do it alone. Keep leading your own way. Take care of yourselves. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, have a great weekend. Make sure you keep leading your own way and come back next week for another amazing guest. See you then. Bye. Thanks for listening and watching Leading Our Own Way. So we can stay together forever and share more incredible journeys, please subscribe to the channel. That way you won't miss next week's episode and what that amazing guest has to offer to the world. Please support Leading Our Own Way, and we'll get you on next week's episode.